Guys, so wanted to get into a little bit about the build process and then kind of do a guitar walkthrough before I go through the rest of my gear here. So build process. Couple of things that I think are really important to note. And again, I think I want to make it super clear here. I love this guitar. It is awesome. It really, really is. It just does everything I want it to do. It sounds phenomenal, and you'll hear here in a little bit. But I do want to kind of do a full disclosure type of thing and make sure you guys understand what's coming, what you're getting. So, like I said, my first guitar was a Warmoth guitar telly, and those are really built. Those are great beginner first build type of thing. It's really easy. Everything fits together. They drill everything. The bridge just kind of sits in there, and you do a little bit of wiring. If you know anything about soldering, you can have a standard guitar in like seconds for cheap, and it's great. But there are limitations to it, and that's why I went for the PVX build. So within the PVX build, this is definitely not, in my opinion, your beginner first-time build guitar. And unless you're willing to spend the money to have somebody else do the work for you, and you just want to have that custom-looking guitar, they're not $6,000, but maybe for $2,500 or something like that. Depending on what you want and all the different pieces and parts of what you want to do with your guitar. So a couple things with the build. Number one, the sanding component. What you'll notice is that what makes it really distinctive and cool looking is all these little bends and crevices and all those different pieces, and this is a carved top type of thing. That is something that is hard. It's more challenging to sand than just a standard flat top. So just know that from a sanding perspective, if you're sanding on the lacquer, if you're doing if you're spraying some color on it, all that good stuff, the sanding is definitely more challenging than a flat top. Not the most ridiculous thing in the world, but certainly something to take in consideration. All those little crevices are difficult to sand, or more challenging to sand is probably a better term. Number two, the bridge holes where you do the bridge. So if you're going to do the Tom or Tune-o-matic bridge, or even just setting in this type of bridge, he does not drill these holes that the bridge sits into. You got to do that. So, and I get it, he's not an all-in-one store, he's really just doing the kit type of thing. So you've got to get this length perfect to get the guitar and to intonate correctly. So that does not come drilled. That's definitely something that you want to take into consideration too. If you're a first-time builder, or if you're really amateur or don't even have like a power drill or anything like that, or a drill press, you're going to want to get some help on that. That's something you don't want to get wrong. That's something that you don't want your bridge to be wobbly. You don't want it to not be perfectly parallel. You don't want it to be the wrong length on your guitar. So you want that also doesn't come that way. I did have to do some finagling a little bit with the inside to get everything to fit. I had to kind of carve out some of the tenon to make my pickups fit in appropriately and the way they need to. So it is definitely, and a quick shout out to Greg over at Dogwood Guitars for all the help that he provided to me. But that is definitely something that is not a first-time builder just expecting it to be 100% plug and play. Don't get me wrong, it fits phenomenally. It does, and it plays like crazy great. But that is definitely an intermediate to advanced guitar building. Once you get it done, though, it looks beautiful, and you'll hear later on in the next clip, or in the sound clips, what it sounds like, and that's it sounds great. So let me do a quick rundown of the guitar itself while I have the time. Really, I think this is a really unique looking guitar, so let me kind of walk you through it. So this right here, we have a zebra wood top with a mahogany back, canary wood neck, which I have raw, did not lacquer that. And then the canary wood is just gorgeous. It's tough to tell, but there's like green hues right here. There's orange and reds and browns. Really, really pretty. And then just look at that. The grain on that zebra wood. Epic. let's stay down on the body. I have the Hip Shot grand piano bridge. I like it better than the Tunomatic because it's very easy to change strings. The strings just come in and you just rip them out. I also sweat like Whitney Houston, so you know, these saddles I can change those out for graphite saddles if I need to, if I'm breaking strings left, right, and center. So far, no problems, but I haven't had it for very long. Staying down here, I've got 3 selector switch, and then a tone volume tone knob. Now I have Tom Anderson. Oh, sorry. Let me just finish up with the body, and then I'll get into the electronics. This is an ebony fretboard with abalone inlays and gold fret wire. I think the gold fret wire really is a really nice touch. I've got the Goto Magnum locking tuners, and then you went to Guitar Luthier Supply for the inlay. That was a custom inlay that I had done, very reasonable over there. It's abalone and black. It's really pretty. I think it stands out very nicely. One of the nice things, and then I've got the zebra wood truss rod cover with a bone nut there. One of the really nice things that that Paul does over at PVX is that he'll send you a piece of each of the wood that comes. So he sent a piece of mahogany, a piece of zebra wood, and a piece of canary wood. I just used a piece of that zebra wood to make the truss rod cover, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the neck. It's really it feels like a PRS neck. It's not a PRS neck, but it feels just like it. A little bit thicker than your standard Strat neck, but I've got small fingers and I have absolutely no problem whatsoever getting to all the notes, all the frets on the thing, and it's definitely not like your boat telly neck, but it's definitely not your kind of Ibanez, you know, even Strat, like super thin wizard style neck, which I like. I like a little bit of chunk behind it. Let me get into. I've got 2 humbuckers. These are from Tom Anderson. And like I said, I have a Tom Anderson guitar. I did not, you know, steal these from my Tom Anderson. One of the really cool things that Tom Anderson does is that he does sell his pickups. You are able to buy them. He does hand wind them, and you know, when you think about your tone, I'd say 65-70% of your tone comes from your pickups, and so you know, bought those. This is the H3 and H1 pickups. So like I talked about in, you know, in my YPVX video, I like a very versatile guitar. So what I've done is from guitarelectronics.com, I believe, something like that. If you Google that, you'll find it. They have a bunch of different wiring diagrams, which are free. Really nice thing that they do. And so on my last guitar, I had these wired in, split them out each with Fender S1 selectors. They were kind of the push-in selectors. I had these wired in split out, or you know, split the coils or not. I felt that when I split the coils with the Tom Andersons, they felt too tinny. So this time I went with series in parallel. So when they're in parallel, I mean the signal's going through both sides of the humbucker, kind of like in that motion, I think, and that gives you that fat humbuckery sound that humbuckers are so well known for. But when you put them into, instead of putting it in series, or sorry, it's splitting them out where you only are using one, you can choose either the inside or the outside. I put them into series so the signal's going through at the same time. What that does is give you a single coil-esque type sound. It's not true single coil because it's not a single coil, but it's very single coil-esque, but it's like a thicker, it's just a church thicker tone, which I am so stoked that I went in that direction. So how do I control them? And like I said, I like versatility. Each one of these tone and volume knobs, excuse me, tone and volume splits out each one of these pickups individually. That gives you just a ton of variety of tone. You do that, do that. Maybe I'm funking in kind of a single coil type of thing like this, and then in the bridge, and then I want to go to a solo. Boom! I now have a full humbucker and bridge to go solo. Boom! Right back into rhythm section. So just a variety of tones. So like I said, this knob controls this pickup, this knob controls this pickup, and it's just it's just a great way to have a ton of variety. So that is the guitar in a nutshell. I think I showed you the mahogany back there. That's the guitar in a nutshell, and I'm going to do a full gear rundown here in the next clip. It'll probably be a pretty short one, but I do want to talk a little bit about the rest of the rig and what you're going to be listening to, and then we'll do some sound clips. So thanks guys for listening, and I hope you check out my next vid.